Welcome to the Motivation Without the Hype podcast with your host, Gez Perez. He's an author, high-performance coach, and motivational speaker. This show brings you inspiring messages and interviews to unleash your greatness in life and in business. So let's get started.
Hi everyone, welcome to Motivation Without the Hype podcast show. My name is Gez Perez, a former procrastinator into an action taker. We bring you inspiration messages and interviews, including motivation insights, tips, principles, and proven strategies that you can take action on without the hype, unleashing your greatness in life and in business. Now, I'm excited that we are bringing you our podcast series, Goals Without the Hype. Now, today's episode is 5 things to remember in goal setting. 5 things to remember in goal setting. Now, I love the quote. Benjamin Franklin quotes, "If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail." Right? Classic quote. And again, if you haven't heard our previous episode number 2, I did mention, that we got to rewire our mindset, that it is not failure, it's only feedback to getting better. So when I look at failure, I always look at what can I do to improve for the next. However, failure to plan, that's why it's important to plan ahead and really create it, write it, and execute it. So setting your goal is the most vital aspect for your success. You got to set it, right? It's great to think about it. It's great to, be in this mindset of just seeing it in your mind. However, we got to set it by writing it down so you can actually pull things together and put a deadline date to encourage you to execute. You have to do this to achieve your goals. So generating ideas and concept is very important, but knowing how to achieve them is what matters the most. Now, there are 5 things to remember when you are setting your goal. So I trust that as you listen to this podcast episode, whether you are driving, right, pull over, or if you're heading to your work or you're commuting, either in a bus or on a train, really take notes because there are 5 things to remember in goal setting. Number 1 is you got to be precise. Identify what your end goal is. And that is important. Stephen Covey always says, have, the mindset, have the end goal in mind, which is important, right? It's great to have a goal, but if you don't know what your outcome is that gives you fulfillment, it's not going to get you there. That's why you need to be precise. So identify what your end goal is and make sure that you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Now, understand this principle will serve you as your drive and the reason why you do it. Now, it may take some time to develop skill to eliminate irrelevant and unnecessary details when achieving your goal, but it will definitely help you become precise on what you really want to accomplish. Now, there are about 6 strategies on goal setting as well. 6 strategies on how to achieve your goal. And there is a link to that. I think there's a YouTube video that I've done many years back, but it's a classic one. So we'll put that on the show notes, but really just opens your mind how to go to the other side. Number 2 is you got to be ready. So plan every step that will lead you to your goal. Conducting a feasibility study or market research can be a good start. You need to gather all the data that may affect or influence your goal. You might also want to check if you have enough funds or manpower or resources or skills before proceeding in setting your goals. Being ready can help you prepare for the possible risk and challenges you might encounter while putting up your plan into fruition. And that's really important. Once you are ready and you are precise in what you want, that is one step closer to achieving your goals, right? So number 3 is you got to be realistic. Now, reaching a goal requires a lot of hard work, smart work, and twice the amount of patience in order to get there. So on the onset, you got to make sure that you are realistic, right? And that is attainable goals, right? You don't want to go super crazy like I want to get 6-pack abs, in the next 4 weeks, right? It can be achievable if you have a lower body percentage fat, but if you are quite sized, then it is going to take time. And so we need to be realistic. And it's all about chipping away, but being realistic, but also that encourage you to achieve those smaller steps. So setting short-term to medium-term goals can help you trim down your variables and be able to make achievable goals. Now, for me, I call short sprints and I call it journey sprints. right? Short sprints is what can I do to achieve these goals in the next 3 months, right? And then I go through the journey sprints, which will take me about a year. But however, this year is I do it at high level. So if I want to achieve something through my finances or through my family, for instance, I'll have a bigger goal. So I'll be like, okay, family trip in, November, 2023 as an example, right? So I have a family goal there and it's on site, but I chunk it down to make it realistic to say, okay, what are the things I need to do to get there, right? So I'll put it in my short-term goals. I need to save money. So how much money do I need to save? All right. So I need to put at least, 5% of what I get. And then every time I get my income or I get, fundings, then I set aside 5%. That leads me to that bigger goal. So that longer term is a high level, but the shorter term is in detail so I can get there. So if I want to speed up the process of these 3 months goal, is what is my 90 days? And then what is my 60 days? And what are my 30 days? And that's really important because you keep yourself accountable and it's always front in mind, right? You have the end goal in mind. However, you got that front in mind and you see it every day, right? And that's really important. Not many people realize that, in order for you to achieve it at a quicker and faster rate, that's realistic. You got to see it. It's got to be in your mind, but you got to see it physically, whether it's on your book, on your journal, whether it's in your vision board, whether it's in your whiteboard, whatever means that help you succeed, right? That's important to see it. Now, the next point, number 4, is be passionate. It's really important to be passionate, to bring in that type of energy. Nothing beats a person with a full heart of zeal or energy, what he or she is committed to. When you have that, when you have energy and you put your sweat and your everything bundled together, and you do it because you love to do it, that gives you meaning, fulfillment, no matter what situation you're in, you're going to achieve it. Now, if there's passion and there's purpose and there's persistence, right? Purpose, passion, and persistence, right? Within you, then you know that it's going to give you not only meaning, fulfillment, but it's going to help you achieve your goals by setting it. The last and final one is be faithful. Be committed, right? Avoid jumping from one goal to another. There might become a time that you have faced difficulties and, life happens. And it's true, right? Sometimes when you put something and then all of a sudden life happens and it kind of disrupts your flow, right? It's inevitable. But get back on it, right? Never lose sight on your goal. So don't let that stop you. Stay committed, be consistent, be constant in those moments, right? Really, really important. But stick to your guns, stick to your plan, and understand, that failure would happen. But remember, it's feedback and it's part of the process. So if you feel like giving up, go back to your number one why, right? Go back. And I said on my previous episode, is that the reason why people lack motivation is because they haven't made a decision, right? The reasons are not big enough to move them, right? And they probably put themselves in a different situation that doesn't support them in achieving the goals. So take note of that. And, today I really want to, encourage you, do things, right? Just set your goals. However, the success of your accomplishments is entirely into your hands, right? The ball is in your court. So if you want to get massive results, then you got to put massive input. What I mean is you got to put everything in those details. You got to put it in, right? Put in the work. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to achieve your goals. So I really want to encourage you today is to get things done. Make it a reality in your life. Create a plan, commit to it, attach your emotions around it, and take significant, massive action. And you will see and experience progress and pace along the way. Now, I trust that you enjoyed this episode and take note of those five things about setting your goals. Now, for more information about what we do and how we inspire the many, head over to GezPerez.com or download your free motivation app available on Google and Apple Store, or access our discovery session to help you take your life and business to the next level. Now, all the details are bundled together and listed on the podcast show notes. So head over those show notes, click that link, and will lead you to your destination. Now, if this episode has been helpful and uplifting, we'd love for you to write a review to inspire more listeners to get plugged in. We will continue to provide high value content in each and every episode. If you don't mind sharing this podcast show on social media by inviting others, it will mean the world to me. Every time you tag me, we will get the opportunity to share those posts, and together we can make a difference in the lives of others through inspiration episodes just like this. So there you have it. In closing, continue to unleash your greatness and tell yourself that I can, I will. Namaste, and we'll see you on the next episode.